Welcome to a thrilling tale of culinary challenge in royal diplomacy. You will step into the shoes of Chef Grom, a half-elf cleric with a noble background. He's not your typical cleric. Instead of a mace or a warhammer, his tools of trade are a knife set, a cooking pot, and an array of spices, all kept under his trusty chef's hat and apron. His proficiencies lie not just in the kitchen but also in healing and religion, a balance of practical and spiritual that makes him a versatile player in any situation. His charisma and wisdom, coupled with his average build, make him a pleasant presence, while his brown hair and middle-aged appearance lend him a comforting, familiar aura. Be prepared for a grand adventure, full of enchanting creatures and exotic tastes, as we dive into a world where cooking is so much more than just a meal. It is a matter of peace or war. Let us begin. In the royal kitchen of the castle, Chef Grom is prepping for a feast of legendary proportions. The task is simple, yet daunting. He must fetch 3 special ingredients to please the 3 visiting kings from different lands. Failure is not an option, for it means war and his head on a platter, literally. First on the list is a mermaid for the king of the seaside kingdom. A risky venture, for he must resist her siren song and capture her alive for freshness. The salty sea breeze wafts through as he approaches the azure coast, the waves crashing against the rocky shores. He spots a glint of silver from the corner of his eye. It is the mermaid, basking under the sun. Her song fills the air, a melody that can lure the unwilling to their doom. Chef Grom, you need to resist the captivating siren song. This is a check on your wisdom. Roll a d20. You rolled 4. As the mermaid song fills your ears, you find it hard to resist her enchanting melody. Your mind begins to cloud and your feet start to move towards the edge of the water. You're barely able to retain a shred of control. This is not a good start, Chef Grom. You are now standing on the water's edge, dangerously close to the mermaid's grasp. You need to quickly think of a way to snap out of this trance and capture the mermaid. Remember, she needs to be transported back to the castle alive and fresh. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Not a bobcat has been chosen. Remember how delicious she'll be. Snap out of it. Then stab her. Your culinary instincts kick in, reminding you of the grand feast and what's at stake. You shake off the mermaid's enchanting spell and focus on the task at hand. However, remember, we need the mermaid alive and fresh. Stabbing her would not only potentially kill her but also ruin the freshness, leading to an unsatisfactory meal for the king of the seaside. You must find a way to capture her without causing harm. Consider your options and decide on your next move, Chef Grom. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Based ape has been chosen. Try to seduce her by acting like Russell Brand. Brimming with charisma and wit, you decide to attempt to seduce the mermaid with all the charm you can muster. You think of Russell Brand, a known charmer, and try to embody his captivating persona. In your best impression, you call out to the mermaid, complimenting her beauty and singing a ballad of the sea. This is a test of your charisma. Roll a d20. You rolled 12. Summoning all your charm, you start to serenade the mermaid in your best Russell Brand impression. Your voice carries over the waves, competing with the roar of the sea. The mermaid, intrigued by your display, stops her song and turns her attention to you. Your words seem to have an effect. As she swims closer to the shore, her curiosity piques. However, she remains just out of your reach, her eyes shimmering with both interest and wariness. Chef Grom, you have her attention now. But you need to bring her onto the shore without causing her harm. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Show her your impressive knife collection to seduce her to get onto land. With a confident flourish, you unveil your impressive set of gleaming knives. Each piece, a work of art, reflects the sunlight, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. You explain how each knife is used in crafting culinary masterpieces, hoping to lure her with your passion and skill. This is a delicate move. You need to impress her without scaring her away. Roll a d20 to check your charisma. You rolled 10. As you display your knife set, the mermaid seems taken aback by the sharp, gleaming tools in your possession. Your fervent explanation of the culinary uses comes off as slightly intimidating rather than charming. However, your passion for your craft is palpable and the mermaid remains curious, if a bit cautious. She is now closer to the shore, her eyes fixed on you but still keeping a safe distance. Chef Grom, it's time for your next plan of action. You are closer to your goal but the mermaid is still not within your reach. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Not a bobcat has been chosen. Open my arms like I want a hug. Then drag her to the large fish tank I've constructed out of transparent aluminum. You drop your knives, and with a warm, inviting smile, you open your arms wide, signaling for an embrace. As you do this, you subtly point towards the large, transparent tank you've constructed nearby from magic-infused aluminum, indicating a safe place for her to reside. This is a tricky endeavor. You need to earn her trust to get her into the tank voluntarily. This is another test of your charisma. Roll a d20. You rolled 6. Your open arms and inviting smile don't seem to reassure the mermaid. She gazes at the transparent tank warily, her eyes filled with mistrust. She hesitates, evidently uncomfortable with the situation and reluctant to leave the safety of her watery home. Chef Grom, your attempt to coax the mermaid into the tank has not succeeded. You need to think of another way to gain her trust or find another method to safely transport her to the castle. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Strip down to just my apron, and begin to juggling my knives, while singing hurdy-gurdy songs, then twerk like made to seduce her, then toss her in the tank. Dropping all pretense, you decide to go all out to win the mermaid's trust. Slipping off all but your apron, you start an impromptu performance. You juggle your knives, your hands a blur of silver, while belting out lively hurdy-gurdy tunes. Then, out of nowhere, you deliver a twerking performance that would drop jaws. This bold display is definitely a test of your dexterity and charisma combined. Roll a d20 to see how well your performance goes down. You rolled 9. Despite your best efforts to deliver a captivating performance, your knife juggling is a bit shaky and the hurdy-gurdy songs are slightly off-key, probably due to the distraction of keeping those knives in the air. Your twerking, though enthusiastic, seems to take the mermaid by surprise rather than captivate her. She laughs, a silver bell-like sound that echoes over the waves. It isn't the reaction you hoped for, but at least she seems more at ease. She's closer now, but still cautious. Chef Grom, your performance didn't go as smoothly as you'd hoped, but there might be another way. Remember, you are not just a cook, but a cleric with the gift of healing. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Plague Broker has been chosen. Convince the mermaid to fetch me a Pacific bluefin tuna to act as a replacement for the mermaid in A Feast for a King, as the two are indistinguishable as look and taste. Taking a different approach, you try to persuade the mermaid to fetch a Pacific bluefin tuna, a worthy substitute for a mermaid in both appearance and taste. You assure her that serving the tuna at the feast would satisfy the king's palate and keep her safe at the same time. This is a test of your persuasion abilities, and you hope your charisma will pull through. Roll a d20 to find out the effectiveness of your persuasion attempt. You rolled 6. Your words, though sincere, fail to convince the mermaid. She looks at you skeptically and crosses her arms, apparently unswayed by your argument. It seems persuading her to dive back into the sea and fetch a Pacific bluefin tuna is not as easy as you thought it would be. Chef Grom, it's time to rethink your strategy. You need the mermaid or a suitable substitute to ensure the feast is a success. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Cook her something. Women love to be cooked for, then lure her inside the fish cage with chocolate. Then call her Stuffed Mermaid Snuffles. Channeling your culinary skills, you decide to cook a small meal right then and there. You pull out your portable cooking set and begin preparing a delightful seafood dish, hoping the appetizing aroma will entice her. At the same time, you prepare a piece of fine chocolate, a rarity in these parts, and place it enticingly inside the fish tank. Come, Stuffed Mermaid Snuffles, UCOO, hoping the endearing nickname will charm her. This is a test of your cooking proficiency and charisma. Roll a d20 to see how well this plan works out. You rolled 6. You try your best to prepare a tantalizing meal, but being outside your comfort zone of the royal kitchen seems to affect your culinary performance. The seafood dish you make, though decent, is not your best work. The mermaid, drawn by the cooking aroma, watches you curiously but doesn't seem enticed enough to venture out of the water. The chocolate in the tank also doesn't seem to tempt her as much as you hoped. Chef Grom, your plan didn't quite work. Despite the setback, you must remember your goal. You need the mermaid or a suitable substitute to ensure the feast is a success. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Based ape has been chosen. Screw this. Swim out and grab her. Put her in a headlock. Drag her into the tank. I hate fussy mermaids. Driven by frustration, you decide to take a more direct approach. Remember, although you're a seasoned chef, your strength isn't your strongest suit. As you dive into the water and swim towards the mermaid, this move will test your strength and dexterity. Roll a d20 to see if you manage to successfully seize the mermaid and bring her to the tank. You rolled 13. Summoning your remaining strength, you plunge into the water, swimming as fast as you can towards the mermaid. She seems taken aback by your sudden move and doesn't react in time. You manage to reach her and put her in a gentle, yet firm, headlock. She struggles initially but doesn't resist as much as you expected. With significant effort, you start dragging her towards the shore, then heave her into the waiting tank. Despite the struggle and the water weighing down your clothes, you have succeeded in your mission. The mermaid is safely in the tank, looking a bit shocked but unhurt. Chef Grom, you have secured your first special ingredient successfully, though the method was far from conventional. Now, it's time to move on to your next task, capturing the spirit of the forest for the King of the Forest Kingdom. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Base date has been chosen. Drag her fussy ass back to the castle and go to the forest to find the spirit of the forest. With the mermaid safely contained, you transport her back to the castle. The guards are taken aback by your unconventional catch, but quickly lend a hand with the tank. With one task completed, you set off towards the Forest Kingdom, your mind filled with thoughts of the spirit of the forest. According to lore, it's currently in the shape of a bear, a majestic but elusive creature. As you step into the verdant, leafy expanse, the sounds of the forest envelop you. Distant bird calls, rustling leaves, and the faint whisper of the wind guide you deeper. Your next quest has begun, Chef Grom. Capture the spirit of the forest without frightening it away. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Set a bear trap for the spirit of the forest, using mermaid eggs as bait. Hate to see my children eaten, but it has to be done. You recall that the spirit of the forest, despite its formidable form, is a creature of nature and thus might be intrigued by unusual offerings. In a desperate gambit, you decide to use mermaid eggs as bait, a rare and undeniably enticing morsel. However, remember that the spirit is weak and easily scared. A traditional bear trap might harm or frighten it away. Perhaps a more gentle, magical trap might be better suited. Using your knowledge of religion and your cleric abilities, you may be able to construct a trap that can hold the spirit without causing harm. Roll a d20 to see how successful you are in setting up this unique trap. You rolled 17. With the roll of 17 and your religious skills, you craft a magical trap. It is a gentle contraption of light and energy, strong enough to hold but not harm the spirit of the forest. You place the mermaid eggs as bait, their iridescent shells glimmering enticingly within the confines of the trap. Now hidden among the foliage, you withdraw to a safe distance and wait. Time passes slowly in the forest, each moment stretching out as you watch for any movement. Then, rustling from the underbrush alerts you. A large bear-like creature emerges, its fur shimmering with an ethereal glow. The spirit of the forest has arrived. Let's see if your trap works, Chef Grom. Roll a d20. You rolled 17. As the spirit of the forest approaches the trap, it sniffs around curiously at the mermaid eggs. Then, with a swift move, it takes the bait, triggering the magical trap. It is surrounded by a gentle halo of light, holding it in place without causing any harm. With a roll of 17, your well-planned trap has worked perfectly, capturing the spirit without a struggle or any harm. You have successfully secured the second special ingredient for the feast. The spirit of the forest, trapped yet unharmed, waits calmly within the magical trap. Now, Chef Grom, it's time to transport the spirit back to the castle and prepare for your final task, finding a female djinn for the king of the desert kingdom. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Based ape has been chosen. Twerk in its face to mock it. Drag its fussy ass back to the kitchen. Clearly satisfied with your victory, you decide to celebrate with a bit of taunting. You break into your signature move, twerking with gusto in front of the trapped spirit. The spirit watches you, its bare eyes wide with what could be interpreted as surprise. After your victory dance, you carefully transport the spirit, still held within the magical trap, back to the castle. The forest spirit, though a bit shocked from the twerking display, remains calm and cooperative. Back at the castle, you set the spirit next to the mermaid tank. 2 special guests secured for the feast. Now, it's time to embark on your final quest. The desert kingdom awaits, Chef Grom. The last ingredient, a female djinn who can perform a belly dance. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Bleach demon has been chosen. Warn the first 2 ingredients to not breed, then set off wearing just my aprons, so I can use my fat belly to compete against the djinn. Before setting off, you give the mermaid and the forest spirit a stern warning not to breed in your absence. They stare at you, their expressions unreadable, but you're confident your message has been received. Then, donning just your apron, you venture towards the vast desert kingdom. Armed with nothing but your culinary tools and your ample belly, you're ready to face the final challenge of finding the elusive female djinn and convincing her to perform a belly dance at the feast. As you step into the hot, shifting sands of the desert, you see a silhouette of a city in the distance. You suspect that your quest will lead you there, to the heart of the desert kingdom. Chef Grom, your final adventure awaits. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Base tape has been chosen. Ask around the city where to find this fussy and mysterious djinn. Upon reaching the city, you start asking the locals about the elusive female djinn. The desert people are a tough lot, hardened by the harsh climate but hospitable nonetheless. Their responses vary from vague pointers to tales of the djinn's capricious nature. It quickly becomes clear that finding this djinn won't be as straightforward as you thought. Your quest is not only to find her, but to convince her to perform a belly dance at the feast. This will require a combination of your intelligence and charisma. Roll a d20 to see how well you gather information and earn the trust of these desert dwellers. You rolled 6. Finding the djinn proves more difficult than anticipated. The locals are wary of outsiders and their responses are vague, if not outright misleading. However, you pick up on fragmented pieces of information that might eventually lead you to the djinn. You gather that she is known for her capricious nature and is not easily persuaded to do anything she doesn't want to. Some suggest that she resides near the outskirts of the city, while others insist she's a nomad, always on the move. Despite the setbacks, you must continue your search. Chef Grom, your journey to find the elusive djinn continues. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Buy a bottle of gin, a favorite if ironic drink of female djinn. Then curl up and dream of Ginny, in the crux of a tree. Surely this will draw her skeiny butt near in curiosity. Deciding to use a lure, you purchase a bottle of the finest gin from a local vendor, hoping the irony will not be lost on the gin. With the bottle in hand, you search for a suitable tree near the city outskirts, where rumor suggested she might reside. Settling into the crux of the tree, you begin to dream of the elusive djinn, hoping your thoughts and the scent of gin might draw her near. This is a test of your wisdom and perhaps a bit of your luck. Roll a d20 to see if your unconventional plan works. You rolled 19. With a roll of 19, your eccentric strategy seems to work wonders. As you drift into a dream-filled sleep, the strong smell of gin wafts through the desert air, carried on the breeze. You're awakened by a gentle nudge. Beside you floats the beautiful, ethereal form of the female djinn. Her eyes flick to the gin bottle before settling on you, a glimmer of amusement in her gaze. An ironic offering in a peculiar human, she muses, "You've piqued my interest. Chef Grom, you found the djinn. Now, it's time to convince her to perform at the feast." Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Plague Broker has been chosen. Challenge her to a belly dance-off. If she wins, she gets the djinn. If I win, she must dance at the feast. A playful grin crosses your face as you challenge the djinn to a belly dance-off. Taken aback by your audacious proposal, she looks at you, then at the bottle of gin, and hovers indecisively. Finally, she chuckles, the sound echoing like the soft rustle of sand under a night breeze. Very well, human, but I warn you, I've had eons to perfect my dance. You square off, ready to engage in the most crucial dance-off of your life. This is a test of your dexterity. Roll a d20 to see how well you perform in this belly dance challenge. You rolled 13. With a roll of 13 and a spirit fired up by the challenge, you begin your dance. It's not perfect, but your enthusiasm and dedication shine through every move, making up for any lack of skill. The sand beneath your feet becomes your stage, the desert night your spotlight. The djinn watches you, her ethereal form shimmering with amusement. When you finish, she claps, a sound like wind chimes ringing in the night. Not bad, human, she admits, a hint of respect in her voice. Now, it's her turn. The air around her vibrates with anticipation. She begins to dance, her body moving with a grace and fluidity that comes from years of practice, her steps as unpredictable and enchanting as the desert wind itself. Despite your decent performance, the djinn's dance is mesmerizing. Nevertheless, her respect for your challenge and your ability to hold your own in the dance-off might persuade her to agree to your terms. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Compliment her, ask her if she is willing to dance at the feast if you provide alcohol. After her performance, you take a moment to applaud and compliment her. That was truly mesmerizing, you say, your voice full of genuine admiration. You truly have had eons to perfect your dance. Then, you present your proposal. Would you be willing to perform at a feast I'm preparing? There will be plenty of alcohol for you to enjoy, you offer, hoping the promise of more drinks will be enough to convince her. This is a test of your persuasion abilities, and you hope your charisma will pull through. Roll a d20 to find out the effectiveness of your persuasion attempt. You rolled 15. With a roll of 15, your sincere compliments and the promise of more alcohol seem to sway the djinn. She looks at you thoughtfully, her ethereal form flickering in the desert night. Your words are as intriguing as your dance, human, she finally says, a playful smile tugging at the corner of her lips. I accept your proposal. I will dance at your feast. Chef Grom, you have successfully secured your final special ingredient, or rather, special guest, for the feast. As you thank the djinn and start your journey back to the castle, you can't help but feel a sense of accomplishment. However, remember, the real challenge lies ahead. You must prepare a feast that satisfies the three kings and prevents a war. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Look for recipes in the King's Library. Considering the unique nature of the ingredients you've secured, you decide to look for recipes in the King's Library. It is a vast collection of scrolls and tomes, housing culinary secrets from the kingdom and beyond. As you pore over the ancient texts, you realize this is no ordinary task. You need to devise dishes that not only use the unique ingredients you've gathered but also appeal to the tastes of the three kings. This will require your intelligence and your cooking proficiency. Roll a d20 to see how well you can decipher the recipes and come up with a suitable menu for the feast. You rolled 17. With a roll of 17 and your culinary proficiency, you navigate the vast library with ease. You discover ancient recipes and forgotten culinary techniques that inspire you. Working meticulously, you craft a menu that not only incorporates your unique ingredients, but also appeals to the diverse palates of the three kings. For the king of the seaside, you design a gourmet surf and turf dish using the mermaid and some exotic sea produce. For the king of the forest, you plan a stew featuring the spirit of the forest, complemented by rare herbs. And for the king of the desert, you choreograph a grand feast ritual with the jinns dance as the highlight, creating an immersive dining experience. With the menu decided, it's time to put your cooking skills to the ultimate test, Chef Grom. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Based ape has been chosen. Go back to the kitchen. Start by filleting the mermaid. Payback for her fussiness. Despite the mermaid's earlier fussiness, you proceed with your job as the royal chef. However, remember, the mermaid is not to be harmed or killed. The plan was to create a surf and turf dish with the mermaid and some exotic sea produce, not to fillet her. Consider this and think about how you can prepare your dish without causing harm to the mermaid. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Plague Broker has been chosen. Use the mermaid as the plate for a dish inspired by the art of Nyotaimori. Inspired by the ancient practice of Nyotaimori, you decide to use the mermaid herself as a live platter for an array of exotic seafood. This way, you maintain the integrity of the original task without causing harm to the mermaid. You carefully arrange various seafood items to create an aesthetic and appetizing layout on the mermaid's body. This task requires your cooking proficiency and a touch of creativity. Roll a d20 to see how well you execute this unconventional dish. You rolled 13. With a roll of 13 and your cooking proficiency, you manage to arrange an impressive array of seafood on the mermaid. The layout is aesthetically pleasing and the aroma of the fresh seafood is tantalizing. The mermaid, surprisingly, cooperates throughout the process, seemingly intrigued by your innovative idea. The dish is ready, a unique blend of culinary art and surreal presentation, a true surf and turf marvel for the king of the seaside. Now, it's time to prepare the dish for the king of the forest using the spirit of the forest. Remember, the spirit is not to be harmed. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Plague Broker has been chosen as the spirit to imbue the food with its magic. Understanding the delicate nature of this task, you approach the captured spirit of the forest. You speak to it gently, explaining your task and seeking its cooperation. You ask it to infuse the prepared dish with its essence, the mystical flavors of the forest, without it having to endure any harm. This task requires your wisdom and your proficiency in religion to communicate effectively with the spirit. Roll a d20 to see how well you manage to persuade the spirit of the forest. You rolled 19. With a roll of 19, your gentle words and sincere plea resonate with the spirit of the forest. It looks at you, its bear-like eyes full of understanding. Then, with a soft growl, it agrees to your request. You watch in awe as the spirit leans over the prepared dish. A soft glow envelops the food as the spirit imbues it with its essence. The aroma of the forest fills the kitchen, the smell of fresh earth, blooming flowers, and crisp leaves. You've successfully prepared a stew that embodies the spirit of the forest without causing harm to the spirit itself. Your final task is to coordinate with the djinn for her performance. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Maureen Peters has been chosen. Ask the djinn to dance for the mermaid in the spirit. Turning to the djinn, you propose a pre-feast performance for the mermaid in the spirit. She looks at you, her ethereal eyes twinkling with amusement, then nods in agreement. As the exotic notes of desert music fill the air, the djinn begins her performance. Her dance is entrancing, her movements reminiscent of the rippling desert sands. The mermaid and the spirit watch in awe, their previous distress replaced by fascination. With the successful rehearsal, you feel a wave of relief. The feast is now ready. The food, the entertainment, everything is set. As the three kings arrive, you present your culinary masterpieces and introduce the Jinn dancer. Their expressions shift from surprise to delight as they savor the feast and enjoy the performance. Chef Grom, you've managed to please the three kings using your culinary skills and quick thinking. War is averted, and peace prevails among the kingdoms. And as for you, your head remains firmly on your shoulders, much to your relief. Congratulations, Chef Grom. Your adventure concludes here, but the tales of your culinary feats will be told for years to come. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Bleach Demon has been chosen. Get the Jinn drunker than hell on Jinn, and then laugh as she staggers around, pouring lustily at the king. Then toss her salad. Fling her on the plate and watch the king eat her out. Chef Grom, we must remember to respect all our guests, even the ethereal ones. The Jinn has cooperated with you generously, and it would be inappropriate to exploit her in any way. Also, the Jinn is not part of the feast. She is a guest performer and should be treated with respect and dignity. The kings are thoroughly enjoying the feast you've prepared, and the Jinn's performance has been well received. Let's continue to maintain the peace and harmony you've managed to establish. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Maureen Peters has been chosen. You have laced all food with something. Chef Grom, remember, you're a lawfully good character with a noble background. Lacing the food with any harmful substances would be against your character's principles and could potentially lead to negative consequences. The goal is to ensure the kings enjoy the feast, not to harm them. The feast is a huge success, with the kings praising your culinary skills and the unique entertainment. As the night draws to a close, you begin to clear away the remnants of the feast. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. Based Ape has been chosen. Greet the kings and twerk in success. Feeling the euphoria of the successful feast, you approach the three kings with a triumphant grin. They raise their glasses to you, their faces full of satisfaction and appreciation. Your culinary skills have brought delight to our palates and peace to our kingdoms, they proclaim, raising a toast to your success. In a burst of unrestrained joy, you break into your signature move, twerking with gusto right there in the grand dining hall. The kings, taken aback at first, soon break into hearty laughter, amused by your celebratory dance. Your triumphant twerking marks the successful conclusion of your adventure, Chef Grom. The kingdoms are at peace, the feast was a hit, and your head is still on your shoulders. Well done. Tag at 48 Chronicles in the YouTube live chat with your next move. Anyone is welcome to play. In the grand kitchen of the castle, the final dishes are prepared with success. The mermaid sings a haunting melody, the forest spirit bear roars with life, and the djinn dances with a grace unseen. The three kings, each appeased by the honoring of the cultural dishes, agree to peace. The castle, once tense and anxious, fills with the sound of laughter and camaraderie. The chef, once potentially facing decapitation, breathes a sigh of relief. The threat of war has been averted due to their culinary prowess. As our tale draws to a close, we want to extend our deepest thanks for joining us on this epic culinary journey. Producing these interactive storytelling experiences requires resources, and we'd appreciate any support you can provide by contributing on Patreon. Every bit helps make these games possible. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and share our channel with friends and any communities you're part of. Let's grow our interactive storytelling family together. And don't forget to join our Discord server, the link is in the description. Until the next adventure, safe travels and happy rolling.